Hi guys, Alistair Taylor here, and we're going to do a little product review today. One of the big things as a coach that I see, and I'm sure loads and loads of coaches see, that at impact, most golfers don't get themselves into a position to be able to strike the ball correctly, to generate the kind of power and accuracy on the shots that they should be doing. So what we're looking for is at address, there to be a tiny bit of shaft lean, and as we get back into impact, the weight is shifted into that front leg and more shaft lean, promoting the club correctly to the golf ball. So the little bit of kit that I've got today to test is the Tour Striker 7-iron.
So then the Tour Striker 7-iron. So very, very different to look at from the face. You can see the front edge is really high up the face and a big rounded sole. So really got to try and get that club leaning forward if we're going to get that club face in contact with the golf ball. Let's hit some shots, see how it works.
So guys, on comments from some of my other videos, I've had a few guys asking me to just review this, give you some feedback, how good I think it is, how useful it could be for you, and whether it's something that's going to benefit your game. So when we had the close-up look at the club head, we could see it's very, very different looking when you first get it. And as you sit it normally, if you let the club kind of sit quite hands in line with the ball, you can see there's no chance you're going to get that club face onto the golf ball. You're just going to top it every single time. And certainly for what I see a lot of guys doing in the golf swing, which is the weight stays back and they're trying to help the ball in the air. With this club, the only thing possible to do is to top it and hit it nowhere along the floor. So what you need to do with this is get it set behind the ball. And I think certainly at address, you need to feel that your hands are maybe even more forward than normal. Try to get what little leading edge there is tight into the golf ball. Then the idea is in the downswing, we need to feel that we really keep or exaggerate that shaft lean, which will get the weight into that left side and get a nicely struck shot off the face, which will get it going in the air. Now, what I would say initially is I would actually hit, even though this is 7-iron, I would do some little half swings, some little pitches. Just getting a feel as to where I'm going to be through impact. I think once you've got a bit of a feel for that, try and hit a couple of shots, see if you can replicate it. So that felt great, and that's given me just typical kind of trajectory I'd get with a 7-iron. But that's good, and even for me, that felt very, very exaggerated to impact. So let's do another one with a pitch shot. I'm going to exaggerate it, address. And that does feel very exaggerated. So let's see if we can then put that into the full swing. So we're going to set ourselves up, get those hands a little bit more forward than they would be normally, try and replicate and exaggerate that through impact. Yeah, that was good. And I think, I've hit a few shots before the video on this. Even though I understand how it's going to work, I think when I strike them like that, it still surprises me to see the ball go like it does. But I think even for me, that's something I could work on being better and better at impact. So then again, we set ourselves up, that little bit more shaft lean. And again, that feels fantastic. Really, really good. So the proof is, yes, that's been very good for me as I've been hitting some test shots. Let's now see as I transfer to 7-iron, am I able to replicate that? And does it feel different and does it produce a different shot? So I'm going to set myself up. Again, I think for me, I can always feel like my hands are a little further forward at address and then try and exaggerate that through impact. That feels great. And it definitely, for me, gives me a slightly flatter trajectory than I would normally get. I think normally I'm probably about 100 to 105 foot peak height. That was 89. but still got it out there 165 yards. So let's see if I can replicate that one again. So again, that little bit of hands forward. And it does feel very, very good doing that. So, obviously the key is, can you replicate it with your 7-iron? For me, I was able to. But all in all, Tour Striker, what are my thoughts? My thoughts are, it's about trying to get guys getting shaft lean, but also kind of not feel that they're hitting down loads to get it. And I think if you do tend to get a little bit steep, the very rounded sole will help massively. I think it's a great bit of kit. I do think it's a great bit of kit. And I think it's something that I will use probably a bit more in my coaching for some of my guys. I've got some guys that we've been working on this a while, and I think they do it really, really well, or a lot better than they have with their current clubs. But I think this will give them a real exaggerated feeling of what they need to get. Is it something you should look to invest in? For me, if you struggle with that shaft lean and getting that weight across, it's not going to not help your game. You know, it's not going to be detrimental and make you worse. You might hit some very poor shots to begin with because your movement pattern that you do doesn't set up for this at all. But if that's the case, stick with it. If you can get into that habit of getting enough of that club face down to the ball, that will give you such improved strikes, so much more consistency. For most of you guys, you'll hit it a lot further as well. So yeah, all in all for me, Tour Striker, 7-iron. Great training aid, fantastic training aid. The key is, if you invest in something like this, work on it really hard with this, you need to be able to put it into your current clubs as well. If you can't replicate the feeling, it becomes pointless. If it is the case though, and you're having lessons with somebody, take it along. They'll use it in the lesson, might even show you how to get that feeling even better that you need. But guys, thank you so much for watching the videos, as ever. If any of you guys have already got the Tour Striker, be interested in how you find it. Has it made a really big improvement to your game, or have you not really been sure with it? I mean, for me, only a few shots there, I thought it was really good. Really, really good. There is the argument that hopefully for me, I can adapt to what I need to do with something. But I do appreciate you watching the videos as ever. Leave comments below. If you've enjoyed the video, like and share it. Subscribe to the channel if you don't already. Hopefully catch up with some of you guys down in the future. Stay in contact.